Today's episode is brought to you by Pioneer Elite Healthcare. If you're looking to change your clients, if you're looking to get new workers, if you're looking for a change in your employment, please look at the number right here I'm pointing at. Reach out to Ms. Desiree or her staff. Figure out what you're going to do. I think Pioneer is a good company for you. Check them out. How we doing today, folks? Welcome to episode 2, season 3, Just Conversations, No Interviews. We have an old guest today, we have a new guest. Mr. Rashad, he's going to talk about his journey in real estate. We're going to talk about Riz and update on her journey. And also, we're going to see how these two plan to pivot, because right now in the summer of 2022, we see that the real estate game, I'm not going to say it's going to fall off, but it's definitely going to do a hard adjustment in my opinion. As a guy that's been in real estate for over 20 years, I know that things will be changing. It's almost like when I was in high school, they told me, look to my left, look to my right, somebody ain't gonna be here. Not talking about these two, but I'm saying like in a city where it's thousands of agents. Quite sure some people is not gonna pay that $750 or $850, whatever that charge is that you gotta pay. Quite sure some people are gonna, go to McDonald's. Some people are gonna find something else to do. And there's nothing wrong with pivoting at this point. So if you are home and you caught up in the hype from 2020 to now of making all this good money, and you was like, I'm never going to work for nobody else, I would suggest that you take your time and think about it, and maybe try to do both when these things really start to slow up. I just got off the phone with a guy today while we talked about a house that he had in the market. It was for $180,000. I think his best offer so far is $169 or $160. Of course, for you guys that have been out here getting these great margins, now is your time to adjust. But as in all, things will change. They will go from bad to worse and even better later on. So just relax. Don't lose your shirt. First, Mr. Rashad, thank you for your time. And Rich, we want to thank you for showing up today. On time, too. On time.
Early.
Before everybody. It's amazing. I don't know what type of curse is going on in the world, but she was here early on time.
It's going to be that kind of week.
We're going to start with you, Mr. Rashad. Let's talk about your journey a little bit. You're from Philadelphia?
Philadelphia, born and raised, West Philadelphia.
Okay, schooled in the district. What school you go to?
City School, Masterman, Bodine, and graduated in 1990 something. And city public school educated.
Public school educated. Well, I mean, that's like the elite public school. I mean, Masterman. You're the first person hand I ever shook. I went to Masterman. I'm just like, maybe the second, but I only know like 2 people in my life that went to Masterman. You know what I'm saying?
Public schools, man. And then eventually, I started at Hampton and quickly came home to Temple.
Okay.
And it was real estate that did that. Right? It was real estate that did that. I inherited my grandfather's house actually for $1.
For $1.
Yeah.
Good move, Pops. Good move, great GP.
Right. 5 bedrooms, 2.5 baths, 2 kitchens, turned into a bro pad.
Oh yeah. You still got it to this day?
Unfortunately, no. It's a big time mistake. One of my first mistakes in real estate.
Let's get to the mistake. What was this big time mistake?
The mistake was selling it too quickly.
Oh shit.
Selling it too quickly, and at the time I wasn't licensed as an agent, wasn't doing any mortgage like I'm doing now. So, I took advantage of what I thought was a good market and what was money at the time. And I was graduating to, not my forever home, but my first adult home that, is my first venture buying my own building. And so I thought, hey, get rid of this eyesore. And the house needed repairs, and at that time I wasn't keen in terms of how to finance repairs or how to use my equity. And so I figured, I'll sell it, make a few quick bands, and then, keep it pushing. And the house right now is 3 times what it's worth when I sold it. And I drive by every day, or every day when I drive by, I get sick inside.
So if you don't mind me asking, how much did you sell it for?
I sold it for about $130, $140,
that's sweet, lady.
And the house is worth every bit of maybe $350 right now.
Damn, I want to fall on the ground right now.
Yeah, it's sick.
I want to fall right now.
And the fact that it was a single family, it was sold as it was sold as a single family, but it had 2 entrances. It had a back stairwell, so it was a duplex, or could even be cut as a tri if you're crafty. So, oh yeah, it was a big L. It was a big L. But I was young, you know. I was young.
Where was it located?
52nd Street, and so like right on the cusp of about to be King Session. So between like Warrington and Springfield. The Deli Boys.
Yeah.
The Deli Boys. That's what they called themselves.
Yeah, that would actually.
Near Apple Storage, down the street from the Irvine now.
Yeah,
the Irvine.
I was saying that's like University of Penn.
It was exactly. Exactly.
Wow.
I can't get in that neighborhood, and I look, but I can't get back into that neighborhood. I can't do that over.
And
you
it's
know,
funny, like a lot of the neighborhoods we thought we were getting away from as we got older are the same neighborhoods that we couldn't get back in.
Couldn't get back in the front truck.
Yeah, it's a saying, don't sell grandmama's house. Like, it's a saying. It's such a real, like, you know, my family's from Francisville, and man, I just was down there this weekend. It's not a house in the area I could afford. But when but when I was younger, when I first probably started having one, I probably could afford 10 of them.
Yeah.
I talked to my dad. My dad was buying real estate in the 80s. I said, Dad, why buying in Francisville? He said, man, the house is fucked up. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? And I was like, he was like, to be honest with you, man, he was like, I knew it would blow. But he said, I didn't know when it would blow. And I didn't have the resources, not the money, but not the people. I didn't have the people to work with me, to help me.
The connections.
To help me through it. So he said, if I would have bought it, it just would have been just sitting there. And he said, either way, he said, I probably was sold in the early 2000s when everybody was getting $50,000 to $100,000 for the house. But now, like, this house is worth $1 million. Like,
it's crazy.
$500,000 to $1 million, and that's crazy. So I hope the daughter knows. I hope your daughter knows. I hope your child knows. Don't sell grandma's house. Don't sell Pop house.
Nope, can't sell Pop's house.
Don't sell Pop house.
Got to look at the return. You know, you got to look at what your return is. You got to comp the name. And again, these are conversations I didn't have. You know, I didn't look at, okay, where's this neighborhood going to be in 5 to 10? Or what's the volume in the area in terms of what type of transactions are happening in my area
right now? Yeah.
And if I did and just spent 10 minutes, an hour in doing so, the numbers would have been completely different. You know, even at that time. And again,
I don't think information was that accessible at that time.
Probably wasn't.
Yeah. What year are we talking?
We're talking 2008.
Yeah, and that's like right around the time the crash had just started to hit everybody. Because the crash really happened in 07.
Yeah,
so crash happened in 07. By 8, everybody was on the sidelines unless you had some real bread. And 9, 10 was just for the players that had money. 11, and then 12, they started letting everybody come back slowly into the game. They started, you know what I mean? Now is where we at today. So, Riz, what have you been noticing lately in the market? Because I know you're on the market every day. What have you been noticing?
This market is like double dutch. Like, it's crazy. You know, the more experienced jump ropers, like, they can get in and maneuver around, and then, you know, the ones who are inexperienced are always on the ends. Like,
they only way back to a different type of
right. They don't know when to jump in.
They got those people right there. Like, yo,
exactly
you better just jump in, you know? Man. Get it.
But yeah, it's a lot going on. And it's just like you said, like 2020, 2021, sellers couldn't keep a house on the market. Early 2022, sellers couldn't keep a house on the market. It's like one day the market was just like, okay,
it's over.
And just like that. Like,
ain't no snapping that finger.
It was like a Houdini trick, you know? Yeah. And next thing you know, it's like now the sellers are like, oh no, is my house gonna sell? You know, and the buyers are like,
Yeah, now everybody's gonna sit
maybe I'll take that one. Let me give it some time. I got about 2 or 3 to choose from, you know, and it wasn't like that before.
No, not at all.
You know, before buyers were like, you know, like, I'll give everything. I'll give my savings. I'll give my firstborn.
Waiving
I'll
inspections.
Give I don't want to do anything.
I'll pay your transfer taxes.
That was amazing. I have never seen the waiving inspection. I see it now. Pay your transfer taxes usually would be, in my years, it would be the buyer because he was getting the house so cheap. You know what I mean? Like, I'm getting it so cheap, so I'm going to take care of everything because I don't want you to even look at the HUD. I just want to give you this check, and you get out of here, and then I'll figure out the rest. And, like, now, like, when I see people, no inspection. I'm talking about not even walking in the house. I couldn't even imagine buying a house.
Sight unseen.
Sight
Yeah.
unseen.
One that you're going to live in. It's
Yeah.
something completely different when
We
you're
used to
going to
read
flip
about
it or,
that.
you know.
I
but
used
yeah.
to read about it in training.
The training. You read about it. I've never seen that.
Unbelievable.
When they telling me that, and they tell me everybody's offering 10, I know sometimes at certain neighborhoods they're offering 10, 20,000 over the asking price.
Mhm.
But we talking about, it didn't matter if it was in the slums to Center City. Everybody going 10, 20,000 over the price. And
10, 20.
Yeah,
You mean 50?
I mean, you know,
Yeah.
I told you, you're a little bit more high class than me. she goes to Dubai for 6 weeks. I'm on Douglas Street for 6 weeks. It's a big difference.
Yeah, but yeah, it depending on where you're at. Yeah,
Yeah, like
10% over the ask.
asking price. That's,
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, that's
amazing.
insane.
I didn't know people had that type of money. Like I'd be like so surprised. Like, damn, when they printing this shit, like how do they do it?
Listen,
I thought it was a
the other
pandemic.
thing,
I thought it was a pandemic.
that part. The other part of it too is the cash buyers.
Yeah.
There's so many cash buyers, and initially, like when I started, you get cash buyers, but
Yeah.
it's like all right, 50 grand. I think I had one cash buyer that was like 100,000, and he's like, oh, I'm buying this house for my mom, and that was in like 2018, 2019, something like that. And to me, I was like, damn, like buy your mama
it's a big move.
house cash, like that's
Big
dope.
move.
Like, I'm like, come on, son, like, but
Mama needs
now
some new shoes.
houses is like 250, 350, and every single offer I've written from January until like May was outbid by a cash buyer. Like, and the terms were almost identical to my offers, but cash buyers. And I'm
It's
like,
hard for you to be a buyer and not get upset or discouraged.
Yeah.
Yeah, because everybody know with FHA, they was pretty much froze out the game.
Oh, yeah.
If you was getting
Sidelines.
FHA, you was
Yeah,
on
you
sidelines.
don't forget about it.
Yeah.
Sidelines. Sidelines.
Yeah,
A couple of folks that I work with, they would ping me, and it was news every time that they would get an FHA deal. And I write a lot of city deals,
Okay.
and a lot of guys on my staff, they'll write some deals that'll be more suburban,
Okay.
and in the suburbs, no, there is no FHA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, there is no FHA because it's conventional with cash, and it's folks that are swimming in the
Hold
deep
up.
end.
As a bar, I didn't know that. All I did not know. I never used the FHA, but I did not know the FHA was only in city. I never knew that. I thought it was a.
No,
Well,
I mean,
no,
no.
I mean, you can
use
use
it.
Oh, but it doesn't.
But in
it
terms
won't
of
happen. It won't
those
happen.
with the
Yeah.
deals are looking like,
Ain't no way in hell.
Right.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah, like you could forget about it.
Okay.
Like,
you know,
Okay.
just
I got you.
just getting rid of,
It's a different
swipe
type of
left,
buyer. Yeah, it's a
Exactly.
different
Swipe
buyer.
left.
Okay.
Exactly.
right?
Okay.
Swipe left.
That's why they
Right?
got Neiman's out there, Nordstroms and shit like that. the Neiman's Nordstrom buyers.
Yeah.
None of that Foreman Mill buying in the,
No,
in
sir.
the
That
suburbs.
No, sir. No Burlingtons in there.
There's no 580 credit
Burlington
scores
Coat
in
Factory.
the suburbs.
Nah, absolutely not. And I mean, quite frankly, sometimes it's a stigma because there's certain nuances in the way these loans are structured where a buyer may go FHA because it's a duplex, or a buyer may go
Why? They gonna live in
FHA
it or
because the FHA allowed them to borrow more money because it's insured by the government
Yeah.
and allows a lender to write a riskier deal.
Okay.
So maybe they can spend and shoot their load. If this house is right near the top of their max,
Gotcha.
they might be able to go FHA, where like a conventional or private loan might be more so a little bit more restrictive in
Yeah.
terms of how much they'll allow a lender to borrow. So sometimes you actually got to look at the deals
Okay.
and really kind of look at that BFI and see like, why are they going FHA? But back again, we're talking the last 2 years, I don't even care. I don't got that 5 minutes to read
look,
through. As soon
yeah.
as I see FHA is in the back of the pile, and it's conventional with cash.
And not only that too, but just to piggyback off of it, a lot of sellers only they just wanted to sell as is. No one wanted to do repairs. So that was the other thing of it. That's why a lot of people were waiving inspections.
Yeah.
That's why
Yeah.
FHA loans were getting thrown in the trash.
Yeah.
Like, sellers were like, no.
I'm not spending a dime.
And you like, but seriously, like it's raining in your kitchen. That's all right. Like,
They be fine. They be
they'll be
all
all right. And they still give me $25,000 more than asking.
Yo.
And that's what was happening.
That's crazy.
And if they
It was
don't, I got
crazy.
5, 10, 15 other offers I can
Mm-hmm.
I-
cycle back through.
Before I even got to get to the FHA. That's crazy.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what you guys think you're foreseeing in the next like couple years? Like, what do you think this is going to be like? 'Cause I see the rate. actually the rates that everybody complaining about is still a low rate compared to the 2003, 2004. These rates now, the news will make you think like the sky's dropping, but these rates are still pretty low rates. I'm a guy, I used to play with 18% money, and that was some crazy shit, like 18%, 12. If I would get 12%, I would be happy, and that's what I'm talking about, like with hard money. And sometimes I get stuck in those deals for maybe, somehow I got stuck in them for 6 months, someone got stuck in them for a year, sometimes I got out in 90 days, it depends what was going on. So what do you guys see as, what do you see going on right now, like as far as like the buyer section and then the seller section? You see people like just being more savvy, or people being like nervous?
Riz, what you thinking?
I see things are going to level out.
Things gonna level out.
Like
you
it
getting back
was.
to inspections?
Yes, yes. Inspections are happening.
Inspections are happening.
As a matter of fact,
Right, adults.
I just got 2 FHA
adults.
buyers approved over the weekend.
Oh,
like,
shit.
both of them
So
under
FHA
contract
is
over the
coming back?
weekend.
Inspections is coming back?
FHA has made a comeback.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's what I think. I think it's going to level out. But in addition to that, it also is going to require our lenders, our agents, we have to educate these buyers. Because buyers are getting nervous and they're like, I don't know, this, in January the rates were 3%.
There you go.
In January.
Yeah, literally.
It is
6
July.
months. Yeah.
And we're approaching 7% in interest. So it's like, you got to educate your buyers, and the buyers have to understand it's not going to last forever. The same way the 3% and the 2.5% didn't last forever. Things will happen and they'll cycle back. But what I try and explain to my clients is it puts you in a better position financially.
Okay.
If you are purchasing a home at $185,000 with 6.5% interest rate, let's say this time next year rates go down to 4.5%. Not even super low. They go down to 4.5%. Imagine the amount of money you're saving yourself when you refinance. And you're still in a position where you still have some wiggle room.
Yeah.
And you're going to establish equity in your home within that time.
Absolutely.
So there's so many benefits that come as a result. So it's not the end of the world, buyers. We'll educate you. Call me. I'll educate you on what to do.
Yeah, no, she brought up a good point. I think one thing someone a lot smarter than me used to say, he says, marry the house, but date the rate.
Take the rate.
Date the
I
rate,
like that.
right? Marry the house, but date the rate. Because real estate is always the long play.
Yeah.
Real estate is not a get-rich-quick hustle.
What? You mean tell me I can't buy one of these courses on YouTube for $1,000 and make $1 million?
Spend the weekend with a guru.
Spend the weekend with a guru.
Spend the weekend with a
I can't spend the weekend with a guru. Oh my God.
But marry the house, date the rate. These rates are always going to go up and go down and go up and go down again. And chances are you're going to be a homeowner for the foreseeable future. And so, you might have gotten in a little higher than your neighbor did, again, and we were just, like she said, Christmas time, we were at high 2s, low 3s, and then now we're in the 6s. Now, people with so-called crystal balls expect recession, right? And with every inflation, there's a recession, and then there's a recovery. And typically during a recession, interest rates tend to drop. And so, like we said, they may not go to 2 to 3%, but even 1% or 2,
Even if they hold that 5.
would put a lot of money in some people's pockets. We're talking about $100 a month. It's $1,200 a year. Now that's all of a sudden paying some cell phones, some gas bills.
One trip to Whole Foods.
Right. One trip the whole check.
One
One trip the whole check.
Yeah, one trip the whole check, definitely.
Right. And the down payment on our Dubai trip. Right.
That part.
Right.
That
But I mean, those things are starting, which is why when we're educating our buyers, I'm always trying to say, stay the course, stay positive, because this shall pass. Right. We know that rates will change. You get in, and then maintain, and then you'll be looking at possibly much lower rates in the future. This stuff is cyclical. This stuff has been going on before we got into it, and will go on well after we're gone.
Well, I want to double back to what you were saying, because you're saying about the 180, and the thing that happened in 07, 08 that really was hurting people because yesterday's 180 wasn't today's 180.
And that part.
That part, yeah.
Listen,
So-
I was going to say.
So that's the
for those
scary
people-
part.
Mhm.
If you bought in at a high, and now those prices set back to the 160s, you know what I mean? And now your bank gonna be like, whoa, champ, like something wrong, like hey. So it's like, so even if you get a chance to refi, they can say, well, even if you refi,
You still up.
yeah, you already maxed out, so they probably won't even take the refi. They tell you,
Yeah.
sit your ass on the
Yeah,
sideline.
that
you
was
know?
an issue back then,
Yeah,
for
that,
sure.
and, you know,
Let's talk appraisal gaps.
yeah. So what are the appraisals? I hear the appraisals are starting to get lower too now. Though I heard they do like 10,000 off some of them. I heard about 10,
Yeah,
20.
but see, the thing that's stopping the bubble
Mhm.
and it's stopping us duplicating that is
PMI.
is the fact that demand is still so high.
Okay.
Demand is still so high. People are more savvy than they've ever been before.
So it's not-
Rents are going up crazy.
Rents
Yeah.
are-
So it's
rents
still
are-
kind of like rent, buy, buy. No matter what the circumstances are, people are still buying. The gurus are out here telling you to buy. But what it is doing is generating a smarter
Juicy
buyer,
market, yeah.
right?
So it's a
We've
juicy
never
market.
had people at least have this much in their mindset that buying is better than renting. And that as long as that demand is going to be this high, we're never going to see property value plummet like we
Like it
did
did.
back then.
Okay. Well, I love being up here with the gurus.
Get that weekend course.
Yeah.
I got the
Yeah.
book coming out.
Of course, had to-
$1,200 book coming out.
The ebook is available.
The ebook.
Download.
No, but so what part of the real estate game do you like the most?
It's a good question. I think right now the play is to buy and hold.
Okay, so that's your favorite.
To buy and hold.
Well, I mean, like, because you work in this profession.
I work
so
in
what-
the
so-
finance sector right now.
So yeah, so what part of finance do you like the best out of this? Like, what would be like, man, this is what this job is really for?
For the purchase and to help buyers, if possible, on their first, if not their second purchase, purchase a multifamily home. Right? That's if we all had to do it all over again, right? It would be the real estate hack 101 of buying a multi, having Miss Francis downstairs helping us pay our mortgage,
Yeah.
and starting
Sounds
it.
so easy.
Right? Sounds so
Sounds
easy,
so
don't you
easy.
agree? Right?
Yeah.
So I mean, but a lot of the people that I serve are not just first-time home buyers, but I've coined the phrase first-generational home buyers, where they can't point and touch a reference point
Who did
of
it?
someone
Who
who's
did it
done it
before?
successfully,
Yeah.
right? And so my job is really soup to nuts, like where somebody like you might be like, man, they don't know that,
Well,
right? But
I'm
they
not
don't
like
know
that.
that.
I'm not like that no more. I did used to be like that, but I realized that the information, as simple it was to get, it's not easy to get. You know what I mean? And even when you hear it, don't mean that you understand it.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So like when you talk about buying and hold equity long term, listen, man, and I'll tell you the truth. I do have a little portfolio. I would have sold the whole damn portfolio 2011, 2010. I was so fucked up. I would have sold the whole fucking thing if I could have. I couldn't, because the value wasn't there. You know what I mean? The places was in bad shape. So I would have sold everything and probably walked away with $10. So I couldn't. So as savvy as I thought I was, by consequence I had to hold this shit. And then while holding it, I watched it quadruple. I'm like, oh shit. I always heard people say buy and hold, but I didn't see. It's weird with real estate in Philadelphia. I wish I had a map right now so I could show you like what it was like in 2000. So Center City always been Center City, but then you watch the South Philly explosion when Kenny Gamble and them and the John Street and all got together, blew up the projects. Boom, that opened up. So now I started noticing once you blow up projects, it's a done deal. Once you blow up projects, that's when the rate go like that. So I thought that the gentrification stopped at Broad Washington. I had no idea to go all the way to Patterson. Might as well say.
Yeah.
And then, and this is how it was in North Philly, it went from Center City to Girard, and it was like, it just stopped.
Yeah.
And then it picked back up at Erie.
Yeah.
So
So
for
it
some
always
reason,
would be that
for some reason,
abbreviation.
I thought that Susquehanna wasn't going to get nothing. And I don't know why I was right next to Temple. I thought that Lehigh wasn't, because Lehigh always looked like the end of the world, like Death Zombie Land. Like, and I'm just talking about like driving up it, like Broad Lehigh's probably one of the darkest places on Broad Street.
Yeah.
Not now because they got the lights. And the fact that, you know, in Allegheny, I just thought it would just be Allegheny. But now, encompasses everything now. But back then, you wasn't getting the high appraisals in those areas.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like it's crazy. Like when I see it now, it's like no, it's always moving like this, but it looks like it's moving like, but it's really just moving like this.
That's a wave.
Yeah,
It truly is a wave.
So I'm saying that. So as sad as I thought I was, I didn't understand that. I had a chance to buy 3 houses, 2 on Lehigh, 1 on Susquehanna, well, 1 on like Dolphin. 3 houses for $20,000. This is like 2008, and I didn't do it. I didn't. That for whatever reason, I didn't go through with the deal. I mean, money was getting tight at that time anyway. But if I had just bought those 3 houses right now, and just left, never just paid the tax on them, I could have kicked off. By 2015, I could have got $100,000 each house. By 2020, by that year y'all just went through, I could have got maybe almost 150, 200 for each one of those houses.
Easy.
So that's what I'm saying. Like even I had a guy was giving me a house one time on 20th and Diamond, not 20th, but whatever, I think it's called Amber, whatever that little block is. Giving me the house like, Sharif, I can't take it. And I was like, well, shit, I don't want that shit neither. So my ignorance is real. So that's what I'm saying. So as sad as I thought I was, I'm thinking this house is a piece of shit. That same house now is $200-something thousand. I could have got it for a dub. A guy just giving. I mean, I just had to assign me with the mortgage. And I was like, man, y'all can have that house. Shit, I don't want that. At that time I got tenants. I'm getting sued. I'm in landlord-tenant court, and these fucking tenants was so much smarter than the landlord. Before I knew, they had the whole the fucking Google. They was fucking on Google, and they had them tenant right action suits. I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, no, I don't want to deal with it. I don't want to deal with it.
We just got a deal accepted. I believe 1900 block in Uber, right?
Uber Street, yeah.
Uber Street, right? 215K. The taxes were $3,600 a year.
And
in Philly, where the tax code is a lot cheaper than that. Now, obviously, they've been reassessed, but there's homes that still ain't $1,000 a year, like in Philly.
Yeah, but they're changing too.
But even in that area, that's right off of Ontario.
Yeah, and I bring that up because, like you said, the wave was coming. They know the people owning that property, chances are going to be investors that have the homes available for our med students or our regular grad students that move up that far. But also, is to get grandmom and them out of there.
Yeah. Well,
$3,600 a month. I mean, a year.
With the older people, remember this is another gym for y'all. Go down to that city. Go down to the tax review board. Go down and take your time. Like, go start the MSB. And make your way on over to Broad and Chestnut. You got to get used to these places.
The GPS.
I give it all to you. Listen, you do the evictions
records.
You do the evictions on Chestnut. You do the deeds on Chestnut. But start at the MSB. Hopefully, if you're lucky, you'll get a nice person down there. But sometimes you'll get a shitty person. But if it goes bad, you can always go to the 5th floor. Go to the 5th floor. The 5th floor is good in the MSB. Somebody can at least explain to you what the process is. And then from there, they'll tell you, hey, look, you got to go over to this part, that part, this part. But don't run. So I'm saying for all the older people, if you've been in your house longer than 10 years, you can fight them raising those taxes that high.
And they just reassessed. I don't know if you guys know, the
30%.
city of Philadelphia
Yeah.
just did a reassessment in, I want to say, March or April.
Yep.
Yes.
And it's just been crazy. And it's just from all the things, and that was that 529 plan?
Yeah.
Like, and everything that they're saying, and that area that you're talking about over there off of 19th Street, that's Temple Hospital, that's the Nicetown Tioga area.
Yeah, the names.
They're expecting,
names.
Right. They have, what's that, Jumpstart Tioga?
Jumpstart Tioga
is now
just
over there,
rolled
so
out,
that's like a big thing. So people are gravitated, and it's almost as if they're being steered
In certain areas.
where to go based on these different programs and these opportunities and the rumor mill about what's what. Because once upon a time, Temple was all the rage. Like everybody off of Diamond Street was like, oh, Temple's buying it over here, Temple's buying us, Temple. And I'm like, no, they're not buying you just yet. You're 25th and Diamond, they don't want that. Like, and it was just like little things, so now that's kind of what's happening. And a lot of people don't understand what they're looking at when they look on like city websites and they're seeing their home's assessed value.
That's
And
not
they
your real
have
value.
that to think. They're like, oh, this is my set. This, according to this website, my house is worth this. And I'm like, no, that's what you're being taxed on. Like I had somebody reach out to me and say, if this is accurate, we're ready to sell. And I said, it's not accurate, and you need to take your ass downtown so you can have your taxes reassessed, because you can't even sell for half of that. So I'm like, this is actually what the city is charging you, but it's based on future value, what they are expecting the rates, not the rates, excuse me, what they're expecting the neighborhood to be worth once upon a time. It's been crazy.
With every deal these days, if they're going to be a Philly deal, for the most part, just about every deal, I've been giving information about the homestead. Because there's a lot of people that are going to buy these houses, have no idea that they can get a discount on their taxes. Simple website, it's digital. It's one of those offices I'm sure that you know of. Miss Barbara, Miss Barbara, is coming through. But the homestead, look it up, Philly.gov. If you guys are local that are watching this, and ask about the homestead exemption, because you might be able to get a deep discount on the taxes. And right now, this assessment, the map that they have covers the whole city and all of the hot neighborhoods.
But maybe West Philly's getting hit the hardest.
4-3.
And North Philly, like every zip code that I own is the zip code
that's going up.
The same.
I'm like
4-3, 5-0.
Meanwhile,
4-4.
my area where you told me not to buy, I was an idiot, has doubled in value.
Listen what other crystal
I don't
ball
know why you buying
predictions,
over
right?
there. You want to do everything safe. Safe and equity.
Hey, listen, sometimes I'm wrong. It doesn't happen too often, but hey, listen, I'm gonna tell you this is my prediction. The best area right now to buy in is down there where all the dope fiends at. The Kensington part. That part is amazing.
That's only if you can make some money off of it. Why unless you have, but here's the thing.
It's 20 grand.
Unless you have the money to just sit on it, because you get people that's afraid to even live down there. Like, that's a whole different, that's a different type of high down there. Like,
listen. See, you people don't understand something. See, I've lived in bad neighborhoods and good neighborhoods, right? What I know is always a person who needs a place to live. Now, you may say, well, that person ain't gonna pay rent. Yeah, maybe. But see, a person that just came off a nice little bid, and they got to get out of that halfway house. Right now, the halfway house is running over. And they have programs where you can get these people and help them transition from the halfway house into these houses. And you'd be surprised. I personally, and I know people probably going to grind me up about this, but my preference is I really get a person coming home from, if I have to get I guess the word I can use is non-desirable tenant, if that's a such thing. I really get a person.
These are the opinions of Sharif,
me,
not of any of the rest of us.
Exactly. This is what I stand on.
It's not a collective opinion.
I'll really get a person that's coming home from a bid who just went through a work program, knows how to keep a job, keeps a real simple life, and kind of treat his living space like his cell. Because those guys, they don't tear your shit up. When they leave out, it's a turnkey. I ain't got to repaint. All I got to do is clean. And most of the times, they follow the rules because they've just been following rules for the last couple of years. So it may sound crazy, but I'm telling you, compared to somebody that's like, sometimes you find these young ladies and they move in and they be on the ball. Credit right, money right, everything. And all of a sudden, you go get the rent one day, and here comes this beep, walk into the door with a tank with a wife on.
Who's you?
Who you? I'm the landlord. Oh, all right. Hey, such. He here. And now it's like baby boy. And now here come this dude, you know what I mean? Now she done moved him in. Now over a year's time, she got pregnant twice. You know what I'm saying? Over a year's time, she's pregnant twice. And now that money that was always there, she was paying. Now, little Tay crying, little baby, he stumbling around. The dude who had the tank top on, he done got fat. He don't work. You know what I'm saying? And that side thing, whatever he was doing, that thing ain't working no more. His man them just got busted and shit. And and now they always in the house and they wearing and tearing on the house. So little Boo Boo had a crayon and he just went all through the whole joint.
With hand.
You know what I'm saying? He went hand. And so little Boo Boo just messed up my joint. So now I gotta paint. You ain't paying rent. You know what I mean?
Holes in the wall.
Don't
How did
forget the
those
leaking
happen?
toilet.
Yeah, the
Right.
toilet gonna leak.
Holes in the
Okay.
It always homes the water up. You know what I mean? Compared to my man that's just so happy to be back outside and to have a space bigger than that 6x9, and he taking it, who's grateful to have it. So I'm just saying, like, what I've learned is just what I can handle. Some people don't want to deal with that because, you know, dealing with those guys, sometimes they get like real, you ain't the CEO, you ain't gonna tell me what, you know what I mean? You know, and so you have to figure out how to deal with it because everybody not like that. Some people just aren't happy to be back on free land. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, I have to like juggle that, man, because that's a hard thing. Because, man, I have had some properties get destroyed in a year, and what it took for me to bring that property back up. And the first thing tell me it was like that. I'm like, no, it wasn't. Stop it. If it was like that, you wouldn't have moved in there.
Dude, you gotta take pictures.
Yeah, no. You take pictures, but you can't sue nobody who ain't got no money.
True.
It's gonna cost me more time to sue you to get something that you ain't
That's
got.
true.
You know what I'm saying? The reason why I'm putting you out because you ain't pay your rent.
But
You ain't getting no
can
loss.
You can still, you don't have to, I mean,
What am I getting?
satisfaction.
I don't need that. I don't,
Peace of
listen,
mind.
I'm not holding on the grass, reaching for the stars. You can't do both. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna be like, I'm gonna reach up there. You can't do both. You know what I mean? You gotta make a decision. I'm gonna just let this person get out of here.
Yeah,
God
but it
bless
makes it a
them.
little easier to put them
Yeah,
out though.
yeah, you know.
I'm actually going through my first eviction.
You are? Did you got your lead certificate?
Yeah.
Oh.
Good.
Yeah, I'm leaded. I'm rental license.
You got your rental suitability
But
agreement?
I have everything right
Okay.
now.
So they still doing suitability? I didn't know. You know, I thought suitability was if you wanted to get the money, but if you just want possession of the property, I mean, you got to have the suitability. But if you got it, if you don't have suitability from the time they was in there,
Then you can't get the money. Yeah, you can't get your back rent.
But for me, I just want possession. I'm a possession type guy. Give me mine
Yeah.
back.
It's funny.
Yeah.
I told you that was my thing when I was putting out a tenant, and he's like, "Well, you know, like I can pay you all your money." I said, "Don't worry about it. Just leave. Like just
Exactly.
leave. Just leave
You
by the
ain't
end of the
suing.
month.
You ain't suing,
Just-
right?
Yeah.
You just want them out.
Yeah, just come."
Exactly.
And he's like, "What do you mean?" I'm like, "It
lease is
costs me
up.
more to keep you than it does to just tell you to leave."
Well, yeah, and if that's the case,
Yeah,
yeah,
for
I
me,
mean, for
I go
me,
for
the lease is
possession.
up August 31st.
Okay.
So I'm gonna start the
The
Yeah,
process.
process
Process.
now.
Oh man, you took
I
it. See this.
don't want to.
You got edit this.
Hopefully, we don't end up in a squatting situation. But I've never done it. That part. I'm a total complete rookie.
Man, when I got in this
That's
business,
a good thing.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
when I got in this business out, I was
Go.
putting out.
Shoot, what are you doing in here? You still here?
Man, they call me
Out.
the
Get out.
sheriff, man. They call me the sheriff. What you do? You 60 days. Oh no. Oh no,
You're done.
come on. You're
You're done.
You first. You first. You gotta
You're
go.
right.
And then it was so easy. But man, the internet, man, it hit them tenants to some games.
Mm.
So I'm like, I mean, I be in there rumbling them Jones. But I haven't, I probably got two, I got like at least two coming up maybe. You know, we're trying to, because now you have to do the mediation too. So now before you even
Okay.
get there, yeah. Listen, man, I was going down there because the same place you put people out, same place you get liens removed from you. So the city didn't sue me like 20 million. I'll be busting your ass, city. But I gotta say it. But anyway, though, when you get the liens removed, the same place where you get the evictions done at. So when I was in there, I was just in there. I want to say June 23rd, June 25th, and they was like, "Yeah, we letting y'all know now. This first come, first serve." Starting July 1st, they shut down for a week because since COVID, it was kind of touch and go how to do it. But they shut down for a week, and now they said, man, now it's first come, first serve to do eviction. We don't care about none of the other stuff. It's first come, first serve. And it's a process. It's a longer process. So, I don't even know if you start charging people 6 months rent to get in now, just in case they mess up. I don't know how it's going to go.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't leave the game. I love the game. It's just that that the game is changing, and we have to
gotta
stay up
change
on those.
with it.
Yeah, we got to stay up on it because I used to be a part of HAPCO, and HAPCO used to always print out the
I'm just
newest
going to
laws.
ask you,
Yeah.
were you a HEPCO member?
Oh yeah, I was HAPCO. HAPCO got a little too rich for my blood though. After a while. They used to give me a little letter and everything. And then I'm a typical person. After you do systems so many times, you kind of learn them. And then sometimes I get tired of paying attorneys and stuff like that. And I start realizing well, I could do it myself for certain things. Now when you got to go up, now see, listen, I got to put out this dude just come home from jail. I could put him out myself, like within the law. But when you got to fight against the lady with the 3 kids, that's a hard to put out. That's a hard to put out. You got some advocates. They don't care. You know what I mean? And Lord have mercy, one of them kids go over to somebody else's house and eat some lead, and they say the lead came from your property. You're done just off that. You know what I mean? So it's a fight. It's a fight, and it's a process. But you know, I love the game. The game is changing.
Yes, it
And
is.
I'm so happy y'all came here to give the, you know, I hope people can listen and think about ways, you know, how the game is going to be changing. Because I know a lot of people are like, fuck that real estate shit. Or they're like, well, before I go buy the real estate, I got to go take this course. How would you feel if somebody told you, if you sitting down with one of your nephews or one of your younger family members, like, yo, I want to take a course.
I gotta go on a weekend boot camp.
Yeah, weekend boot camp before I go buy a house. What would
Coach
you tell me?
Ramik. I tell them to talk to a professional. Talk to a professional that does it every day.
But they are talking to a professional. That's why they're going on the boot camp.
Right.
Shit.
That's how they look at it.
For real?
That is how they see it, seriously. But the thing that grinds my gears is I'll get people that'll call me, they'll ask questions, and I'll talk them through the process. We'll walk and talk, and we'll say, you know, all right, this is what you need to do. This is the plan, boop, 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 boop. And then next thing you know, they're like, oh, well, you know, I'm going to go in another direction because, and when it's time for the money to be spent, it's being spent somewhere else. Yes, I'm talking to you. The money's being spent somewhere else, but they're blowing my phone up for all the free information.
It's all a free game.
And it's like, wait a minute.
So how do you feel about that? You hate it, or is it just part of the game?
It's a combination of the two.
So you hate the game.
Not
You hate that part of the
necessarily.
game. You hate that part of the game.
Not necessarily. Like, I mean, to your point, things are changing.
You can change it.
Yeah.
Yesterday's price,
And
not
I'm
today's
gonna
price.
right, exactly. And I'm gonna flow with the change. Like that's you know, that's pretty much it. Like there's a lot of people that used to have access to me that do not have access to me.
Yeah.
And you know, it's for good reason. So
Gotta be more selective with your time and resources.
absolutely.
You know, and I mean, I'm somebody that is not in a rush to monetize everything. You know, but at the same time, you got to know your value, right? You got to know your value, and you can't just, you know, donate your time and space and resources when somebody isn't truly appreciating, acknowledging, and investing back in you. So, but you know, for me, like I said, I am an advocate. I am a home ownership strategist, right? And so, passionately, for me, I give until I can't give anymore, and then I give some more. You know, when I get a breath. And I know that strategy hasn't failed me yet. You know, just constant gratitude, constant giving, constant helping, and the blessings usually follow. You know, for me, you know.
Now, I'm a giver. You know what I mean? I just give it all for free.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, I give it all. Whatever I got, I'm just going to give it to you. You know, like, no, honestly, let's just say, if I'm a part of 1,000 deals, probably only 5% going to get done. Like, honestly, like, if I know that I'm going to talk more. Like, so even when I do get a big check or a big deal, it doesn't matter because it's like, the time I spent,
Right.
it never equals up to it, but it's honestly just a part of the game until it goes on cruise control. At some point, you hit the cruise control and you're such a brand. So I don't mind giving my time. I'll give my time, especially if it's somebody, if a person comes through you, and say, hey, listen, or, you know what I mean? Like, it's different. Like, if it's somebody just wasting my time, I don't want to be a part of it. If you just ask if you ask me the same questions that you asked me 30 days ago, I'm done with you. And the first thing, whenever you come to me, if you don't have a paper and a piece of pen,
I'm done.
or you're in your phone, you know what I mean? If you're not like, if I'm not seeing you retaining information, then you let me know you're full of shit. But there's been some times where I had small, simple conversations with people, and it led to a crazy check. And then sometimes I had 10,000 conversations and it led to a donut. But you never know which way it's going to go. You never know people. Like, humans are humans. You can't predict what nobody's going to do. Do I get burnt out? Hell yeah, I get burnt out. But you never know. You never know who this person's going to be. So I take them up on offer. I don't judge you by the way you look, none of that shit, because I don't know. I have no idea. I've had a guy walk up to me, man, look like the vagabond of all vagabonds, but this guy had damn near 20-something properties. And you know, I was able to, you know, do some magic with him and walked away with an okay check. And I was like, damn, just not. So I didn't prejudge him. You know what I mean? And it was a great deal. It was a damn good deal. But I had the guy come out, jump out the Jag, and that's I know it. That I know. I said, damn, I done paid for 2 dinners and bought this man drinks. I ain't even getting nothing out this deal. Like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? I'm wasting my time. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's weird. I mean, I brung you people like, it's some days it works, sometimes it don't. You can't predict it. It's almost like you gotta like, you know. I mean, I try to vet before I bring you people. I try to vet, but some people I tell you like, hey, this is gonna be a process, and I'll be like, hey, well, shit, it's all been processes. But I tell you, like, I'll give you the update before I bring the person to you. Like, hey, listen, I got this going on right now. Take a look at it if you want it. You know what I mean? And that's how I look at it. So I never know, because you'd be surprised. It may be somebody you spent a year talking to who don't buy nothing. Well, all of a sudden they got a life insurance policy. They just got a couple $100,000, and they come and they'll come find you. Yeah, they come find you and be like, hey, listen, I got the bread now. Yeah, so
right there.
So that's what I'm saying.
That's a beautiful thing.
I've had that.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. You just never
had that.
Like when I tell you never know, you never know.
Remember.
Yeah, so
they remember how you made them feel.
you never know the quality of the person.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So it's a touch and go. It's a touch and go. So I know some people. So you know, sometimes people have deals. So some people may get mad at you because you didn't do a deal with them, right? But sometimes your deal didn't work for me at the time. Like, and this is me dealing with other lenders. Like, you may have a deal where you was trying to give me, let's say you was trying to give me 9%. But one thing about me, I'm going to go to like 6 different people. That's just who I am. That's how I am. Just like buying a car, I'm going to go. So if you offer me 9 and I was able to get it for 2, less money up, if the 2%, if anything, I would rather the person call me like, well, damn, what happened? Why didn't you do the deal? And I would tell you, hey, listen, this is what I was able to get. So that's why I didn't do the deal. But the thing about it is that, but I may know somebody who got to come do this deal with you. So before you shoot me in the foot and tell me you ain't never fuck with me, you might want to rethink that, because I'm the type of guy, I'm always outside. Like, I'm always around people that's looking for something to be done. Now, I've had relationships where I had people who had to connect. It may take me 2 or 3 years to get you a deal done. That's just how it go. I don't make this shit. You know what I mean? It's just however it comes out. You know, I'm a more savvier buyer now, being in my 40s and being in this game for 20 years. So the deal that I would have did when I was 19, the deal I did at 19 and 20, I'm not going to do now. So if you have a higher interest rate and I don't need it because I just don't need it right now, it may not work for me, but I probably know somebody who's going to need that. You know what I mean? It's just how it go. It's just how it go. Like, so I don't know, man. I try to take on as much as I can. Everybody's not. If you watch this, don't think that because I'm saying this, you can come to me with some BS and waste my time. It's not what I'm saying. It's not what I'm saying at all. And but so many times the pencil and paper gonna work. You know what I mean? So at some point you got to tell me, hey, well, thanks for the information. I'm just not ready yet. But when I get ready, I'll give you a call. And I appreciate that. I respect that. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, that's what you respect. Nobody respects the person that's like, hey, walk me here, talk me through this, and then next thing you know, it's like, yo, thank you so and so. I just grabbed Facebook, like,
with the just sold,
the key,
got my first investment property,
playing the guitar with the key, playing the guitar with the key, the just sold key.
Yeah,
and you like,
that's definitely. It's definitely BS, man, but I get it all. Like, you know, it's the game.
Yeah,
it's the game.
It is.
And you never know it. You probably didn't speak to somebody that day when they saw you. You probably didn't even see them, and they was like, "You're never going to get business." I got you. Or they might have called you on a day when they need to borrow some TransPass money from you, and you didn't answer it back in '92, and they like, "I remember this day," and then they come use your information, then they go to such and such. I don't know what's people gripes. I don't even care, like, because I know that I try to treat everybody, you know, especially in business, with the utmost respect. I mean, I don't always get it right. Nobody gets it always right. Sometimes you may do things inadvertently, you know what I mean? But I love this business. I love the conversation. Thank you so much for your time today. Please tell the people how to get in contact with you. Riz, one more time.
Charisma Harper, Riz on Real Estate. That's RIZZONREALESTATE. It's the same on Instagram, Gmail, and Facebook.
I'm Shad Hammond, SHAD. Last name Hammond, HAMMOND. Shad Knows Loans. I'm Shad Knows Loans on Instagram. I'm Shad Hammond on Facebook and LinkedIn.
Hey, well, this is just Sharif Angus for Just Conversations. Remember to like, share, subscribe, and please drop these people a call. Don't waste their time. But I'm not quite sure. We got a seminar coming out next week for $10,000. You can be a millionaire. Saying no.
The ride along.
The ride actually, along. No, real estate is has some pain. So if you're about to get into it, prepare for the pain. It hits back. Believe me, it hits back. You know what I mean? So if you can't take the punches, just start toughening up. You need to do it. It's the best way. Real estate, life insurance, you can make your kid a millionaire the day you die.
Yeah.
So don't be afraid. And 50-year mortgages may be coming out soon. Don't let it scare you. You know what I mean? You can get a good life. You get that loan insured. And when you die, your kid is still on it. So don't be scared of a 50-year mortgage. You just got to learn how to pivot, people. But I heard about 40-year mortgages on Monday. And then Thursday I heard 50-year. I said, holy shit. I said, man, this is crazy. I mean, hey, listen,
keep that payment
there was
low.
no such thing as a 30-year mortgage 20 years ago. It was 5, 10, 15, 20. And now we got
20%
30s.
down.
Yeah. And now we got 30s, and we're on our way to 40s. It may be 100-year mortgages next. I don't know. Just get some insurance. Just get some insurance on it. You die, the house paid off. Learn the game. There's so many ways to win in the game. Learn the game before you get in the game. Thank y'all so much. And Sharif Hangus with Just Conversations. Today's episode is brought to you by Pioneer Elite Healthcare. If you're looking to change your clients, if you're looking to get new workers, if you're looking for a change in your employment, please look at the number right here I'm pointing at. Reach out to Ms. Desiree or her staff. Figure out what you're going to do. I think Pioneer is a good company for you. Check them out.